Hello and welcome to session 1. In this session we're going to be talking about the 4 modes of listening and how we as sound designers can use them to create an immersive sound experience. Now, why on earth do you need to know about the modes of listening? Well, I'll tell you. It's because the modes of listening are the modes in our brain that allow us to communicate and interact with our audible world. And so they become the foundation of all sound design. And so having that control over the reverse engineered experience for our audiences is exactly what we want as sound designers. So what are the 4 modes of listening? Causal, the fact that sound has a cause, and not only are we able to determine what that cause is, we can also work out the implications of that sound. For example, if we hear water falling on the roof, we know what the cause of that sound is. It's rain. But more than that, we know the implication. It means that it's wet outside. So the first mode of listening is causal. The second is semantic. It's what I'm doing right now. I'm communicating with you through language. Semantics is all about language, but not just communication with voice. It's also any other system or audio system of communication that we can interpret as language. Now, the third mode of listening is reduce. We have an innate ability to filter what we hear. Now, if you're in a loud lecture theatre and you can't really hear the person at the front who's saying something that you want to know, you will focus your listening, you will reduce your listening field so that you focus purely on the thing that's important, and the sound of that loud aircon unit that's right at the back of your head will just start to disappear. Your brain will filter it out. And again, really useful as sound designers, we can use this to great effect to draw the audience's focus to a particular sound that moves the story forward. Now, the last one, the fourth one, is referential sound. Now, referential sound simply means that some sounds will trigger us. They will trigger us in some emotional way, or they will suddenly spark a memory, or on an innate level, they can scare us or bring us into fight or flight. And so we can use referential sound, sometimes very crudely, very directly, and we can just say, the big boom every time something bad happens, or somebody delivers a piece of news and there's a clap of thunder, suddenly has that meaning. It's our reference for what that means. But it's not just about that, it's also cultural references. On a cinematic level, it could be me just going, ree, 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 and you'll know that it's the strings from Psycho, I hope. But this is how referential sound really helps us. And it's one of the greatest tools that we have as sound designers, because we can hide referential sounds within other sounds to make the audience feel a certain way about what they're seeing and hearing without necessarily knowing why it makes them feel a bit creeped out and makes them want to recoil. So let's go through in detail exactly what each of the modes of listening are, and let's look at some examples in films that have used those modes of listening to direct an audience's emotions through a story.